So I'm super grateful to be at TikTok for 2 weeks, and I think one thing that I'm noticing after becoming a melt method instructor, which is working with balls and rollers, with these balls and rollers and elastics to hydrate the tissue. So my question these 2 weeks was really, how can I use the melt method not to solve my injuries and chronic pains, but to recover from 6 hours of training with David Zambrano. And I think the answers that are coming through my colleagues and through my experience is that you get in and you get out, which is very important. You don't want to overstimulate the tissues. I'm working with a neuro-fascial approach, not a myofascial approach. I'm not seeking to exhaust the muscle to let go and relax. I'm seeking to stimulate the neuroreceptors in my connective tissue. But more importantly, I think nobody is doing any kind of neurofascial work, any kind of yoga, any kind of work that stimulates your connectivity, interconnectivity, your awareness, your the capacity of your body as an instrument. Nobody does that without wanting to do something with it. Like, the pleasure of dancing is really where it's at. So when you become really quick and you're like trying to do this kind of move, so you're like really quickly passing through, this is where the blocks in your body become a dangerous aspect, that when you pass through with great force, you can actually damage the joint. Otherwise, if I'm just walking around, so I have scoliosis, I don't really feel it. If I take care of myself with melting and yoga, I'm functional enough that I never put myself in a situation where I have to come here. I have to find the mobility of these ribs, and if you have scoliosis on the other side, it's like jammed up here. So I have to find the mobility here to find this movement in the pelvis so the hip gets stuck. So this is really where neurofascial technique can start to help you, and you cannot do it without stimulating your awareness. So you're not going to get anywhere by just rolling out things, strengthening, stretching. You need to actually develop your awareness and start to work through the neural core, rebalance the diaphragm, this horizontal plane, the pelvis, the shoulder girdle, over your base of support. So we're quite vertical, but as we come to the pelvis, we go in a little bit horizontal, and this is where we get jammed. As we travel a little bit further vertically in gravity, against gravity, again you get a horizontal line, so the energy changes, and this we get a little bit jammed here, and then same into the shoulder girdle. So you have 3 points or 3 areas where a lot of stuck stress can accumulate. And if you're if you use your body in a more intense way, you really want to start working with your awareness to figure out where your compensations are, and then like do self-care treatments using hydration. For me, for the ribs, for example. For other people, it might be somewhere else. But yeah, compensations is something that we all do, because nobody, like, I look at people and I see everyone has, like, very few people have perfect bodies. David Zambrano has, for me, one of the most perfect bodies. I know a dancer who is super functional, from whom I learned flying low. And with him, it's very difficult for me to body read any kind of compensations in his body, because he moves through gravity through his body with a lot of functionality. But most people have gripping, they have adhesions in their fascia, and that shows in the way they stand in gravity and move through gravity. A lot of people have too much strength, too much hypermobility, and rebalancing through the neural core from the feet to the brain is something that is an awareness-based practice and will improve your performance, because otherwise, as you move with great force through places where you have compensations, fireworks can happen. That's my advice for you, like using the neuro fascial technique of melting. And I advise that you work with an instructor to get to understand the principles. Can help you resolve chronic issues in your body, or support yourself so that you manage chronic issues in your body, because some people have things that they have accumulated over years, and deep hydration can change the connective tissue and your neurological connectivity, and that can start to change how you use yourself, so you're not always gripping. So even like when you're bringing your feet in, if you're always doing it from the hips, because that's neurologically how you become used to getting to, like, that's why David Zambrano's work is so deeply neurofascial, because he is rebalancing the neural core. If I have to bring my feet with walking, I'm rebalancing the neural pathway that tells me to grip in my hips. So working with the left and the right and the left, that is the autonomic nervous system. That is how we drive ourselves through space. It's within neurofascial work and also in David Zambrano's work, and it's quite exciting.